G'day guys, back again. We have got a 2012, I think, Honda CRV with a 2.4 litre petrol. It's come in, it got towed in, so it sort of partially died on the customer. They were driving, sometimes it wouldn't start, then the tow truck got it started, and then they delivered it here and it starts really poorly. Obviously we haven't road tested it, we just got it in, and just the starting, it just sounds funny, so we just put some carby cleaner, some alternative fuel into the intake, and it started up way better. So we can suspect a fuel delivery issue. So what we're going to do is, it's really easy to get to the connector on the rail here, so we're just going to pop that off and put our fuel flow gauge on there. Let's give it a crack. Alrighty, we're connected on the rail. We've obviously got our carbon zap fuel pressure tester here, which is fantastic. I love this fuel pressure tester. So when I go and crank this, I've already looked at this, I've had someone else crank it for me, obviously I'm by myself at the moment, so I'm going to set you up on this tripod and leave you here, and obviously take a look at the fuel pressure up here, and take a look at our fuel flow down here when I go crank it. So I'll head over now and start cranking it. Well, I was hoping to get that going so I could show you that when we actually did get it running, it was still only about 15 psi running pressure, and still the flow ball was right at the bottom. So clearly we've got not much coming through. Obviously looks like we've either got a blocked fuel filter or a poor fuel pump. Alright, we've got the 4425A hooked up with the 60 amp clamp, down with my AES wave fuse buddy loop. So let's crank this and see what happens. Alright, let's go assess that. So let's stop that. Let's go back a couple of screens. What do we see here? Let me get the zoom button out. Well, there's a couple of things that stand out there. Firstly, our average line amperage is quite low in my opinion. Obviously I don't do too many current ramping of the fuel pumps as such, so I'm not 100% sure, but we clearly have got a dropout on one of the segments around there. It's quite low too. So yeah, look, I don't do this often enough, so I'm not 100% sure on this, but certainly doesn't look right. So because we've got low amperage, I'm a little bit worried there might be a bit of volt drop at the fuel pump, so we want to make sure that that there isn't. So I'm going to set that up. We're going to check the power and the ground at the fuel pump, and then we can decide what we need to do from there. Alright, so to confirm that we definitely have good power and ground, obviously we're worried about the amperage. We obviously want to make sure we've got good power and ground to the actual fuel pump itself. I'm on both of the bigger wires for the fuel pump, but I'm only on one channel, so I'm using obviously the main wire on the power feed. I'm using the earth of this lead to the actual earth of the car. So obviously if we get a good voltage on the screen, we know that this voltage is good. I've got it running already, so I'll take you over to the Pico and we'll have a look. Yeah, as you can see there, we are at battery charging voltage, so we definitely do not have any volt drop to the fuel pump at all. We just have a junk fuel pump and filter assembly. Right, so we ended up replacing it anyway. We did pull the line off, and yeah, there was a bit coming out, but we didn't put the pressure gauge there. We're confident it's a pump and a filter. So just showing you, we've got the new one in there, a little bit dirty. We're going to clean that up and fix up the wiring that we pierced before. So don't stress yourselves. We pierce wires, yes, but we do fix them after with liquid electrical tape, so don't stress yourself. Let's go over, let's have a look at the fuel pump waveform, and as you can see, totally different to the last one. As you can see, our sort of average, our middle line there is around the close to 5 amp mark, which is what I was roughly expecting before. And as you can see, all of our peaks and valleys look relatively even compared to that one big drop we had before in one of the segments earlier, and obviously the really lower than expected amperage. And now we can walk over and go check the fuel pressure. There you go, 50 psi. So firstly, we do have an engine light on the dash, so let's quickly just jump on and see if we can. Let me just get set up here. Let's go Honda. Let's try automatic. Obviously the Zenith Z5 scan tool, which we just got. Perfect. Let's go to engine. DTC. Fuel system 2 lane pending. Alright, so let's erase these. Hang on, let me go key on. Let's go engine off. So let's start it back up again. Engine light is off. DTC analysis, no DTC. Let's go back. Let's look at fuel trims. What have we got for fuel trims or air fuel ratio? There we go. AF lambda. So obviously we've got an air fuel or wideband sensor here for the front oxygen sensor. So let's get that up. I've never tried getting one only, so how do I, sorry guys, I don't really use this enough. What I want to do is go out for a drive under load and make sure our lambda sensor stays rich and doesn't go lean as we get under load. So let me figure out, without keeping you here and wasting time, let me figure out how to get up the one data pit only for a faster refresh rate, and let's go for a drive. Alright, we figured out how to select items. So we've got engine RPM and we've got the lambda. So what we want to do is go for a drive under load, and we want to make sure our lambda does not go up, our number does not go up, because that will indicate a lean condition, which would mean that our fuel flow is definitely an issue. So I'm going to record this, and let's just record that and see what happens. This is manual, so I really can't hold the camera. I'm just going to drive it and then I'll get you back once we get some data. Okay, so I've just recorded it. Instead of graph mode, I've just put it in text mode, and as you can see, as we're revving up under load, that at around the 4,000 RPM, we can see our lambda is under 1. So clearly it's not going lean. There's no issue with the fuel flow. This job is done. It drives great. Car is going out the door. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.